Anyuta, remember, in case he tells you he'll marry you, don't believe it, he never will. Hell, I was only saying hello. Myshlayevsky reddened at the undeserved slight, stuck out his chest and strode clinking out of the drawing room. At the sight of the elegant, auburn-haired Elena in the dining room he looked uncomfortable. Good morning, Lena, my sweet. HMMM. Instead of a metallic tenor, Myshlayevsky's voice came out of his throat as a low, hoarse baritone. Lena, my dear, he burst out with feeling, don't be cross with me. I'm so fond of you and I want you to be fond of me. Please forget my disgusting behavior yesterday. You don't think I'm really such a beast, do you? So saying, he clasped Elena in an embrace and kissed her on both cheeks. In the drawing room the feather duster fell to the ground with a gentle thud. The oddest things always happened to Anyuta whenever Lieutenant Myshlayevsky appeared in the Turbin's apartment. All sorts of household utensils would start slipping from her grasp. If she happened to be in the kitchen, knives would cascade to the floor or plates would tumble down from the dresser. Anyuta would look distracted and run out into the lobby for no reason, where she would fiddle around with the overshoes, wiping them with a rag until Myshlayevsky, all cleft chin and broad shoulders, swaggered out again in his blue breeches and short, very low-slung spurs. Then Anyuta would close her eyes and sidle out of her cramped hiding place in the boot closet. Now in the drawing room, having dropped her feather duster, she was standing and gazing abstractedly into the distance past the chintz curtains and out at the gray, cloudy sky. Oh, Victor, Victor, said Elena, shaking her carefully brushed diadem of hair, you look healthy enough, what made you so feeble yesterday? Sit down and have a cup of tea, it may make you feel better. And you look gorgeous today, Lena, by God you do. That cloak suits you wonderfully, I swear it does, said Myshlayevsky ingratiatingly, his glance darting nervously back and forth to the polished sideboard. Look at her cloak, Karas. Isn't it a perfect shade of green? Elena Vasilyevna is very beautiful, Karas replied earnestly and with absolute sincerity. It's the electric light that makes it look this color, Elena explained. Come on, Victor, out with it, you want something, don't you? Well, the fact is, Lena dearest, I could so easily get an attack of migraine after last night's business, and I can't go out and fight if I've got migraine. All right, it's in the sideboard. Thanks. Just one small glass. Better than all the aspirin in the world. With a martyred grimace, Myshlayevsky tossed back 2 glasses of vodka one after the other, in between bites of the soggy remains of last night's dill pickles. After that he announced that he felt like a newborn babe and said he would like a glass of lemon tea. Don't let yourself worry, Lena, Alexei Turbin was saying hoarsely, I won't be long. I shall just go and sign on as a volunteer and then I shall come straight back home. Don't worry, there won't be any fighting. We shall just sit tight here in the city and beat off President Petliura, the swine. May you not be ordered away somewhere? Karas gestured reassuringly. Don't worry, Elena Vasilyevna. Firstly, I might as well tell you that the regiment can't possibly be ready in less than a fortnight. We still have no horses and no ammunition. Even when we are ready, there's not the slightest doubt that we shall stay in the city. The army we're forming will undoubtedly be used to garrison the city. Later on, of course, in case of an advance on Moscow. That's pure guesswork, though, and I'll believe it when I see it. Before that happens, we shall have to link up with Denikin. You don't have to try so hard to comfort me, said Elena. I'm not afraid. On the contrary, I approve of what you're doing. Elena sounded genuinely bold and confident. From her expression she was already absorbed with the mundane problems of daily life, sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Anyuta, she shouted, Anyuta dear, Lieutenant Myshlayevsky's dirty clothes are out there on the veranda. Give them a good hard brush and then wash them right away. The person who had the most calming effect on Elena was the short, stocky Karas, who sat there very calmly in his khaki tunic, smoking and frowning. They said goodbye in the lobby. God bless you all, said Elena grimly as she made the sign of the cross over Alexei, then over Karas and Myshlayevsky. Myshlayevsky hugged her, and Karas, his greatcoat tightly belted in at the waist, blushed and gently kissed both her hands. Hash. Permission to report, Colonel, said Karas, his spurs clinking gently as he saluted. The colonel was seated at a little desk in a low, green, very feminine armchair on a kind of raised platform in the front of the shop. Pieces of blue cardboard hat boxes labeled Madame Anjou, Ladies' Millinery rose behind him, shutting out some of the light from the dusty window hung with lacy tulle. The colonel was holding a pen. He was not really a colonel but a lieutenant colonel, with 3 stars on broad gold shoulder straps divided lengthwise by 2 colored strips and surmounted by golden crossed cannon. The colonel was slightly older than Alexei Turbin himself, about 30, or 32 at the most. His face, well-fed and clean-shaven, was adorned by a black mustache clipped American style. His extremely lively and intelligent eyes looked up, obviously tired but attentive. Around the colonel was primeval chaos. 2 paces away from him a fire was crackling in a little black stove while occasional blobs of soot dripped from its long, angular black flue, extending over a partition and away into the depths of the shop. The floor, both on the raised platform and in the rest of the shop, was littered with scraps of paper and green and red snippets of material. Higher still, on a raised balcony above the colonel's head, a typewriter pecked and clattered like a nervous bird, and when Alexei Turbin raised his head he saw that it was twittering away behind a balustrade almost at the height of the shop's ceiling. Behind the railings he could just see someone's legs and bottom encased in blue breeches, but whose head was cut off by the line of the ceiling.